we're so disengaged with our own health. The drink that they give you to clear out your colon all have carcinogens, seed oils, endocrine disruptors. It's all it's horrible. But we'll totally take that and let them sedate us and shove tubes up our butt, but we won't do a coffee enema. Like, I would just say adjust your mindset a little bit. But
people will do that, but then they're gonna poo on a coffee enema.
I know. Yeah, I know. But like poo. It's because Welcome to Under the Sun Podcast. I'm Aileeah.
And I'm Irene. Grab a cup of coffee and your comfiest sweats and join us every Monday as two best friends discuss everything from raising free-range gremlins to business and really everything under the sun.
Let's get started, and thanks for being here. Should we start off by Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell.
Merry Christmas! It's almost here.
I am not looking forward to it.
Don't you be a Scrooge.
I am. I'm in Scrooge mode because, like, as you'll see, not in this week's episode, but next week's episode. Me?
Yeah, he had a beard down there. Just carry on.
Side note, I have one.
Here we go.
One rogue hair that always comes up right here. And guys, if you see it on the podcast, you have to say, like, Leah, flamingo, and then I'll know, like, hey, my hair's popping up or something. But like Leo sometimes will like catch it, and it's like every like 6 months it like comes out of nowhere and it's popping, and then she like plays with it. I'm like, I have to, I quit. When you said beard, it made me think of that.
That's funny.
What was I gonna say? Christmas. The consumerism bothers me. Like,
so just do handmade gifts like last year.
I am. That's what makes me enjoy it.
Also, I just boxed up 2 giant boxes of toys.
Good for you. Throw it in the trash.
Still have
Throw it in the trash.
Well, we're prompting the kids because now my kids says, welcome to podcast. We're just going to go about something completely not on topic, which is what we always do. Jacob has been telling the kids stories of how your parents would like pull some of the toys away and then pull it out and swap them out every 6 months, and how it felt like Christmas every day to get them.
I have no memory of mom and dad ever doing that.
Emotionally prepped for when we move half of the toys out of their bedroom. And there's some toys, like, they're really good quality toys. I don't really want, like, the wooden blocks for babies. The wooden blocks have been in a closet for 2 years.
Yeah.
There's other things like his dinosaurs. He's not super into dinosaurs now, but I don't want to get rid of them, because if we watch Jurassic Park when he's older and he all of a sudden wants them. So I kind of packaged them in collections. Like, these are the dinosaurs. These are the wooden blocks. These are the magnets. And then if they want the magnets, we'll pull the magnets out.
When did you do this?
Today.
Okay.
But we've been prompting them with stories. So today it was some of their stuffed animals. I was like, okay, do you want to get rid of this? Keep it on your bed or put it in the box. And if things were just on the bed, and I'm like, no, this has to go. You can put it in the box. We don't have to get rid of it, but you can't keep it out right now because you don't play with it.
Have you heard of a time will tell bin?
No.
It's like every closet has it in our house. I just did it when Dave was gone this past week, because I'm so sick of. Well, I have 2 things in Leo's. I have a time will tell and outgrown.
Oh yeah,
and so and then like so instead of being like the same outfit, because what would happen is what happens with me. It's like I try to put a shirt on her. I'm like, this doesn't fit her anymore. So then I throw it in the laundry, and then I wash it, and then I put it back, and then I go to grab it again. I'm like, oh shoot, it doesn't fit her anymore. And then I do that cycle like 40 times. I'm like, I'm enough of this. So I have a tote that has a zipper on it, so she can't pull and fling stuff around. She's in her flinging phase. And so I can just unzip it, throw it in there. But then the time will tell is like for more of adults and kids, like toys. Like, hey, we're gonna put all these toys in the basement, and then you put a time limit on it, like 3 months, 6 months. If they don't even think about it, if they can't identify what's in that box in 6 months, donation.
It's my son has my husband's memory though. So like there'll be a toy I threw away when he was 2. Where's that fire truck that had the squishy wheels and the little this painted on it? And I'm like, I got rid of that. Why? It's like, you didn't play with it.
You need to watch.
And like, we won't have seen any pictures. He'll just randomly think of this. I'm like, you were literally 2.
I didn't hit record on this.
Oh, man. It went to that camera though, right? Maybe.
Is that how it works?
Backup goes to that.
Even if it's not recording.
That was as recording. Long as this is recording, we should have a little bit of backup.
Just in case it.
We just talked for 20 minutes about children's organization that I hope maybe didn't record.
Maybe or maybe not. It should have.
I think so.
Right.
If not, we can just start from scratch with a little jingle.
Jingle, jangle, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I hate Christmas.
Can you- Santa, I know him.
Huh?
Nothing. You can tell which one of us
you-
is a
are
Christmas
you gonna-
crazy and which one's not.
Do you guys tell your kids Santa's real?
No.
Okay. Because we don't either.
Yeah.
And we should have a whole episode about that of like,
Yeah.
why? Because that was hard for Dave. He's like, no, we have to. And I was like, no, it's around the same time we're telling Leo about God. And I don't want her like have a seed of doubt in her mind of like, oh, mom and dad lied to me about Santa. So why would they tell me the truth about God? And I don't. There's multiple reasons, but that's my big one.
Yeah. I was the Dave in this situation. I was
Really?
Like, I had no problem believing in Jesus and Santa, but my parents didn't. We'll talk about it on we'll do a Christmas episode.
Yes,
There's lots to talk about.
This has
No
nothing
side tangent.
This has
except for the first one that maybe or maybe didn't record.
what? I don't think we can. Do you think we can do a whole podcast without side tangents?
No. I'm definitely going to make that shirt though.
Side tangent. I'm selling my Cricut and my press and everything because I haven't used it enough to for it to be here. So.
I rarely get rid of craft stuff. I am a hoarder of crafts. But I do dig through my crafts and I do pull stuff out, especially now that we're homeschooling.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like I've pulled out random glitter that I haven't had since your bridal shower and we made the ocean with it. So it's been fun.
Nice. Yeah. I just craft stuff. Like I did just organize my whole sewing kit because every time I would like think like, oh, I want to sew real quick while Leo naps and like do something for me versus like clean the house or something. I like my sewing kit is like my whole box, my like caboodle, it stressed me out. So I put everything in little baggies and organized it. But that is not what today's podcast is about. Today is about coffee enemas. This isn't an enema. This is just coffee to drink in my mouth holding up my... Anyways, have you done a coffee enema?
Yeah, didn't like it. Not a great experience. And not the enema part because I've had lots of like digestive issues, so wasn't...
Maybe you should give it another shot. Maybe after this...
Oh, I raged threw away that kit.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Rage through.
Why?
I don't know. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just tell the story on the podcast. I don't care. I was doing the parasite cleanse. I was having some issues. I know part of it was the worms, but it was like a PMS hormone panic. I don't know. Like all systems systems were in overdrive. So Aileeah came over to watch the kids so I could do a coffee enema because today on the way before I came, I showered and my daughter spent half the time in there playing with her Moana dolls singing while I was showering. I was like, oh, well, whatever. Yeah. So Aileeah came over to watch the kids, did the coffee enema. Nothing happened. I'm like bawling my eyes out in the bathroom, but it was like a full system shutdown for me. Yeah. Which is kind of also coming off of like me closing down my business after 4 years of starting a business right before the pandemic and carrying. Like it was like everything came to a head at once, like all of the stress I didn't process. And then when the coffee enema didn't work, I was like, that's it, I quit. And then like left and I think it was that same day, right? You were still at the house and I was like, that's it. I'm just going to go get a colonic, which Jacob was there too. And he's like, just go. I was like, it's $80. I'm not going to pay $80 to poop. And he's like, I don't, just go. And then I went and it was great. Did the colonic, felt amazing after. All that to say, I would rather just go to the colonics place personally.
But colonics are different than a coffee enema.
It flushes things out.
It flushes, but coffee itself has a benefit.
That's true.
To being inserted versus just water. So water is great. It's very hydrating. I'm sure as you're listening to this that you're like, ew, why did I click on this? Or if you're even still here, you probably clicked off. But I get it. I get it that it's weird. I remember when my health practitioner brought it up for the first time, I was like, absolutely never. But here's the thing. I was at like an all-time low with my health. Like I had like a beard of acne. I felt like trash. I was on a liver cleanse. And she was like, hey, this last day of the liver cleanse, you are going to feel like garbage. Like you drink it was basically like a whole 5-day prep
thing.
Yeah. And the last day was like half olive oil, half lemon juice or something like that.
Sounds delicious.
I have a hard time swallowing oils.
Yeah.
It was gross, but it was all fine. Like I was literally, I remember like doing laundry, carrying laundry up from our basement in our house in like the White House.
Yeah.
And was carrying up and literally like it hit me and like I felt like I couldn't even carry the basket. I felt so weak and so bad. And Dave and I, it takes a lot. Neither of us ever have really bum days where we're like on the couch, but we were leveled on the couch.
Yeah.
And it was bad. And so,
because you had him do it with you, right?
Yeah. And so we were doing castor oil packs. We were like manually like compressing our liver.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel great. And so I was like, I feel gross enough that like I'm going to do it. And so I had bought the coffee enema, the enema kit. And so I did my first coffee enema. And then I felt fantastic. And so then I was up and doing stuff. And Dave was like leveled because he would not do it.
Yeah.
So maybe you're asking, what the heck is a coffee enema? Coffee enema is where you get basically mold-free, toxin-free coffee. I use King coffee a lot of the time. And you have a special enema bucket. And it's like, I have a stainless steel enema bucket that you hang up high. And it's basically
so yours
a tube.
isn't that little like pouch thing that looks like a water bag?
Nope. It's just stainless steel bucket.
Is there a difference? Doesn't matter.
I just don't want mine in silicone.
Yeah.
Not that it's not hot coffee. It's not cold coffee. It's just like room temp or slightly warmer coffee. And then there's like a tube and a little pointy tube that you shove up your bit. Not your bits. Wrong part.
Don't put it up there.
You are going to rinse your colon. So you got to shove it up your rectum just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Does it have a stopper?
Yeah.
Or not like a flow stopper. So I'll say that's one of the things I like about colonics is you can do those one of two ways. You can go to a practitioner who will like manually insert it, like insert the water and let it go and like massage your belly. It's very hands-on. The other version is a hands-off version where they have this little table set up with like a hole in the middle and a hose. And you basically like lay with your knees propped up and this tube sticks out and you slide yourself onto the tube, but there's...
See, that's so much worse than me being in the privacy of my own home. Just doing this and shit.
But where the way the tube is, I don't know how they do it, but like somehow there's no physical way you can perforate a bowel. Like it never possibly could.
Why would they ever perforate a bowel? Like you're not supposed to like the tube is.
Well, sure, but you gotta like.
Yeah.
Speak to the Michael Scotts of the like. Explain this to me like I'm 5. Like, could you perforate a bowel if you were not?
You could if you like shove a tube way too high, but like. I'm gonna knock out there. Yeah. You just put a little coconut oil on or whatever, and insert just a little bit, and it's not like you're not shoving it all the way up there. And then there's a valve on the cord, on the piping, on the tube, I guess, that like you can release however much you want at a time or like slow it down. And like usually I will never forget this. Like there's like a description of when I did it the first time. It was like, you know, like slowly release a valve to take your fill. And I'm like, I hate that. Don't ever say that again. And it's the worst conversation ever because it's like, why on earth would you do that? That feels, people think weird, inappropriate things. And it's like, it's not like that. It's purely like, if you feel crappy enough, you will do anything to make yourself feel better. And it's not like it's this new age shove coffee up your booty to make yourself feel better. It's been around since literally the 1800s. So like it's not new. They've been using it medicinally for a long time. And actually like there's a guy, I'll read a lot later, who actually like it's a part of his, I don't want to get shadow banned schmancer killing.
Yeah.
Like that's part of his protocol. And it's like every day a coffee enema and along with like a good diet. And then he has cured hundreds of people, hundreds of thousands of people.
Amazing.
So he has a lot of great benefits, but so yeah, that's what a coffee enema is, and I'll tell you the benefits, but I'm gonna like read a bunch because I want to make sure I get it right. And also, this is not medical advice. This is just my own personal experience. Because for me, like, I remember thinking how weird is like I will absolutely never do that. And now that I'm doing a podcast about it, I'm like, you never say never.
That is true.
Because like now, if I'm like, you know, I just came off that parasite cleanse. I did a lot of coffee enemas during that because I just felt like garbage. Or like if I feel that like for some reason, you know, I'm extra sluggish or whatever it is, I usually kind of do a coffee enema before I do any supplements first, because to me that's like the first and primary way I release toxins. Because besides being in the garden, I'm not really one for working out. I should be. I want to be, but besides that, I don't really sweat that much. So like that's my primary evacuation, that and breathing. But so I want to make sure that pathway is cleared.
It is weird if you're new, but there is a point where you are so desperate
Yeah.
to feel better that you don't care. And like that's so I know I've shared one podcast I think where we've each talked about like our health journey or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But like by the time I was 18, I'd had a colonoscopy, I'd had an endoscopy, I'd had like doctors and nurses, like lots of people around both ends of everything just to tell me I was fine. That was fun. So anyways, but you do get so desperate that it's like, like I never thought that I would drive an hour and a half. Like there was one trip I did a colonic. Did you come to the first one or the second one?
First one, I think.
And I didn't I'd never done it before. I didn't know if it was going to be like, I don't know, colonoscopy. Am I going to be like laid out? Am I going to be sick? What? So Aileeah had to drive me an hour and a half out of town because there was no colonic place in town. And this was like years before. This is probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So like I would drive an hour and a half to get a colonic. And like if you would have told anybody that doesn't, it's like, what? Why are you driving? Where are you going?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
But
you get so desperately ill that you just don't care.
Yeah. And for those who maybe are new to the podcast, I'm so sorry this is your first episode. But also, like, we're supposed to poop as many times as we eat in a day. Like, so if we eat 3 meals a day, we should poop at least 3 times a day to like get it out, or at least like push out yesterday's or the meal prior to get it out.
Unless you are carnivore. What I'm learning is if you're doing carnivore, your body's kind of just processing it. It's
if you're chewing poop, properly,
but that's less. Something I just learned.
Are you doing carnivore?
No, but Jacob did it and he was having what he thought was digestive issues. Was like, or are you is there just nothing in there? And the more I researched on carnivore, you just kind of use up what you got to an extent. Like there's still toxins that need to come out, but
yeah, interesting. Okay. Well, we'll just go down this list. I have a couple different sources, but also do your own research always. Like, don't just listen to us. Do your own research. But like I said, coffee enemas have been used since the 1800s to restore digestive issues and health issues. Like I said, I had a beard of acne, and like I was this is like when 2020 hit, and then suddenly I wasn't touring, working at Green Shoe, and also leading worship. Like all of a sudden, none of that was happening. And, I like I don't know what happened. Maybe there was mold. I don't know, something. It all just culminated. And then I just felt like utter trash. And I wasn't like depressed. I was depressed because I felt like crap, but I didn't realize I felt like crap because I was so run down. And so when 2020 hit and we were forced to stay home, I was like napping like at least once a day, if not multiple times a day. And I had no energy. I had acne. Like my eyes were super just dull and dingy, like especially the scleratus. And I just felt like crap. I couldn't think. I had brain fog. I had terrible memory issues, which I'm still working on memory stuff. But then started working with Emily, the old co-host of this podcast. And then that's where the whole coffee enema thing came in. So like, it's not weird. Just put that out of your mind for just a minute and let's learn about coffee enemas. So coffee enemas can help flush out bacteria, heavy metals, fungus, and yeast like candida, which I know we always think like, oh, it's rinsing out just poop. But it's actually what I was reading, and I'm just going to paraphrase instead of read it. But the outer lining of the colon is, the researchers believe that it's like the outside skin that sometimes we need to exfoliate and get that top layer off because it collects so much grime and stuff from the environment. And it's believed that coffee enemas basically go in and help, because it's kind of like acidic a little. It helps basically like exfoliate the inside of the colon and take out that layer. That's kind of like why you pass a lot of biofilms and stuff like that when you're doing a coffee enema. And it rinses out and then kind of like exfoliates and then helps better bacteria grow. So like the more you do it, the better it will help reset the flora of your colon. Especially for like your small intestine. Let's see. So the guy the Gerson Institute, have you heard of that?
Maybe.
It's the guy who basically uses coffee enemas and a diet to help cure people's schmancer. He's used it for removing toxins accumulated in the liver. So the idea is that the bucket is like this big. Okay. So like you fill it with coffee, not hot, obviously, let it be like room temp or a little warmer. and you slowly release it. Our poor friend. Should I tell this story? Are you in search of tinctures for adults, teens, and kids? We have the brand for you. It is Bioray. They have the whole spectrum of parasites, liver, gut, sex drive, everything. They have everything you need in tincture form, and it's gentle and it's safe for your kids and your family. So you should buy it.
Yeah. Check out bioray.com. Use code UTSP10 for 10% off your orders. Their website is super helpful. If you have any questions, their customer service is one of the best. You can message them on anything. Like I had a dropper clog and I just wanted to make sure like, hey, is this clogged or am I growing like a bacteria that is going to be harmful or whatever? They were super helpful. I sent pictures and their response is amazing. So you can also go and fill out this like questionnaire thing on their website and they will help direct you into what kind of supplements you need.
Yeah, because it's really hard to determine. Like it's hard to like observe your own body and be like, what do I actually need? And they'll like ask leading questions so that they can help guide you to what you really need. So bioray.com, code UTSP10. A friend, an unknown friend, was doing a coffee enema, and her husband, who had also done coffee enemas, didn't tell her that you can like slow release, not just like open the valve and let it go. And so just opened it and let it go, and it was like traumatizing for her. Which that is traumatizing because it's a different sensation because like you literally have to like release and then like let it kind of work its way up your colon. Sorry about my phone. And then take a little more. And then once the bucket is emptied, your belly is full. And I usually turn on my back and then like massage my stomach. And then there's usually like a part of my stomach that's like rock hard. Yeah. And so then I rub that spot or like massage around it until it goes away. And then usually it's somewhere else and I just massage it. And then you hold it for at least 15 minutes. And then I usually sometimes try to do at least 30 to like make sure it gets all the way up there. As it needs to. Yeah. But the idea is that it goes up there and it stimulates the liver to produce more bile to help you digest and detoxify more efficiently. And it helps promote glutathione S transferase. And that's not just like woo-woo nilly, for people who are like, where's the research study? It's the researchers of University of Minnesota demonstrated that coffee enemas benefit that include helps to stimulate the production of beneficial enzymes created in the liver called glutathione S transferase, which acts as an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, natural blood cleanser. Some evidence shows that coffee enemas help with repairing digestive issues, cleansing the liver, improves blood circulation, increases immunity, helps with cellular regenerations, relieves digestive issues such as frequent constipation, bloating, cramping, nausea, improves low energy levels and moods such as fighting signs of depression, which I totally find true that if I'm feeling like blue, a coffee enema really helps. And I don't, but like also I have had like a lower functioning liver. Like that's kind of what was my problem before. Yeah. So like it ridiculously helps me.
The body is so fascinating.
It is.
Because your digestion, oh my gosh, I've been like stuttering kind of okay. Like we're the opposite because my liver is always on any holistic test flagged as great and just my colon is not. So interesting that like they do go hand in hand, but it's interesting that you can have one higher than the other or less functioning. So all that to say, we are bio individuals. So
yeah, we are. And like
you really gotta, it's not always fun, but you gotta just
find what works for you.
Go through the weeds till you figure out what works for you specifically.
I was posting about something. I think it was the parasite cleanse I was doing, and someone was like, "Oh, I need to do that." And like, but what tips do you have? And I was like, my thing was just like, I would start with coffee enemas, like right as soon as you start the pills, because I think it would just make things go a lot easier. Do you want to know what coffee beans? Like why coffee beans? Yeah. So coffee beans naturally contain antioxidants and beneficial compounds, including cafestol, palmitate. I'm going to get a bunch of these wrong. Comwheel, theobromine, theophylline. In addition to caffeine that have positive effects on inflammation levels. Yeah. So like we get some of these by digesting it, but I hate comparing this, but you remember that trend where like dumb teens were soaking their like tampons in vodka or alcohol, and if you put it up your booty hole, you get drunk way quicker and it's way more potent for like less alcohol,
People will do that, but then they're gonna poo-poo on a coffee enema.
I know. Yeah, I know. But like
poo-poo.
It's because it. I missed it
too, and then my brain clicked like it's like tick tick tick. That was funny. Okay,
but like
on.
that's true. Like, I mean, also, here's maybe my pitch that if this conversation grosses you out, like just think, like, why are we more comfortable going into a doctor's office and letting them basically do a colonoscopy, go all the way up with the camera, but we can't just do these small therapies at home that kind of prevent maybe those things from needing to happen. Yeah. Like, we're so disengaged with our own health because we can't do anything for ourselves unless we have 30,000 research. And there are lots of research studies, but here's I'll get back up to that. Hold on. But we need to like take back authority on our health of like, hey, like, let's do all the things at home first. I'm not saying ignore the doc. I'm not saying in emergency situations, not for sure. But like, if you're having digestive issues, instead of going like, oh, let's go get an IBS diagnosis, and then they're just going to give you a medication. Why not just try it before you let like the drink that they give you to clear out your colon all have carcinogens, seed oils, endocrine disruptors. It's all it's horrible. But we'll totally take that and let them sedate us and shove tubes up our butt, but we won't do a coffee enema. Like, I would just say adjust your mindset a little bit. But also, when you Google, because I wanted to see like what it would be like if someone watched this and they wanted to go Google coffee enemas. It's, I mean, the first 3 pages are not super safe, talk to your doctor about it. Super safe, talk to your doctor about it. It's like the NIH, the WHO, all the terrible acronyms that don't give a crap about your health. They're just funded by Big Pharma. You can do your own research, but like, I either deep dive, like go like page like 42, or start with, I searched Dr. Josh Axe. I trust a lot of his research. And then usually because I searched his name, other holistic categories will show up, and then read 100 of them for all I care.
And a lot of the good ones will talk about, they'll do the blog post that they wrote, and then they'll link their research. So if you really want to deep dive, it's like, click on that website and
they'll take you to the University of Wisconsin, their research and all that. So, can I side tangent / conspiratorial? Okay, did you see that the plane crash that happened? Let me back up. My brain is,
You're too excited.
I'm excited. That's my 6th cup of coffee today.
Oh my gosh, who are you?
I don't know.
And this is only like, I'm part of my first
sweaty, still. And because I'm so sweaty, like having both headphones on my ears, like making
freaking you out,
me panic. Did you see the plane crash that crashed in Brazil? Like, did you hear about it?
No, but I very psychotically curated all of my social media to not show me anything that's not crafts or children or memes.
Okay.
Carry on.
Well, 61 people died in a plane crash in Brazil.
Okay.
Carrying 6 cancer doctors.
Okay.
That were all working on a project on the cure for cancer. That they had found it. And now they're all dead.
Of course.
And if you Google doctors that died in plane crash, 8 doctors. I'm sorry, 8 doctors, not 6. There's 3 pages only on Google of those things, and out of the 3 pages, I would say 95% of them are the exact same headline. Their life mission was to treat people, but they died like learning about it or something. Like, it's all the exact same headline. Yeah. Like, laughably, and it's all the same article too. It's just jumbled differently. And I just hate the media entirely. That's my tangent. But also, they don't want the cure for cancer. They want us all to stay sick. So try a coffee enema. And do some research for yourself. But anyways, that was just my side tangent. That also, to add to that, when you search like the gal's name, like the names that have been released of the cancer doctors, if you search their name and like cancer doctor and don't put anything about a crash, only the crash stuff shows up. There's only like 5 or 6 pages of
none of their research.
None of their like, hey, this is, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. This is University of Delaware person. She just joined the committee. I don't know. Like, you know how usually there's some type of footprint. Yeah. I can't find any footprint.
Yeah. Of course, because now they have AI to do whatever. Write whatever. Scrub whatever.
That's
why my social media is all happy things, because I don't trust any of it.
I don't trust any of it either, but I also don't think it helps to just not know anything about it.
Yeah, but I can't change it.
How do you know?
Like my
we have these cameras and these mics, and
but I can't change anything about them offing cancer doctors.
But we can mention it and then like maybe awaken one more person, and we can eventually start a revolution.
Could also disappear to Alaska, become a moose hunter.
Yeah, you don't think they're eventually going to find you?
I'll call some buddies that have also said, if anything happens, I'm going to disappear. And I'll call that guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And then say, tell me how to disappear.
Okay. I'm just going to keep going here. The benefits of coffee enema increase antioxidant activity, just period.
Yeah.
Like there's no like, maybe it does.
Yeah.
Like all of the studies say like it increases your antioxidant activity, which is huge. Used to fight schmancher. I'm not going to say it because like if you say that word, they'll slap a sticker at the bottom and then it affects monetization. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
The guy, Mark Garson, who's the author of A Cancer Therapy, which you should read. And Allie Stuckey actually had a girl on who did it and cured herself of like stage 4 cancer. And now like helps people work through it since she kind of like,
I'm going to write a note to myself because I will forget, but to put that in our Amazon book list.
Oh, that would be great. Anyways, that was published in 1958. He successfully used coffee enemas in thousands of cancer patients that eventually healed themselves, or he helped heal them. And Dr. Gerson made coffee enemas famous as a natural cancer treatment, and he pioneered the use of special anti-inflammatory diet combined with nutritional supplements and daily enemas for speeding up detoxification. So I think this is my like little 2 cents, but I think we're all way too sedentary and like we don't sweat. Like we all like life, even just since moving on to the homestead, there is not a dull moment of like something I can't fix or I'm out sweating or doing something. So like my activity level has increased dramatically, even just from like caring for the birds, repairing fences, mowing the lawn, whatever. Like I'm having to, and I use a rider mower. Like some people like had to, you know, we just all live so sedentary that like we're not detoxing as much as we should. And that's not like, that's actually not that much of a hot take. It's just like, we just don't do as much. Just we need to sweat more. We need to, which then will help us, you know, eliminate more toxins.
What's the book? A Cancer what?
Cancer Therapy by Max Gerson.
Okay.
And he's an MD. So he's not like, for everyone who's like, okay, there's like this sweet, wonderful influencer. I'm sure you've seen her. I have no idea what her name is. She has like red curly hair. She has like 5 kids. She does like funny mom content about like, she's like, oh, like my pooch, her daughter put like a thing in her.
I love her.
She's so great. But she did one on periods. Okay. Where she was like, oh, it's so brown. Did you see my comment?
No, I didn't see that you commented.
I commented. I said, hey, love your content. Wonderful stuff. Just so you know, that could be a progesterone problem. Like maybe get a blood test. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Which I sent in a DM first.
Yeah.
Okay. But whatever. And then everyone was like, are you her doctor? Are you her OBGYN? I was like, do you need to be an OBGYN to know the basics of the female body?
You should not have a gap.
There should not be a gap. Yeah. It's there. And if it's brown, it's usually like there wasn't enough progesterone in the previous cycle. And I'm not saying I'm an expert. Like I just know what I've experienced for my own body, the books and hundreds of videos I've watched and like making sure my cycle is, adequate, because that is a form of detoxification for women. Yep. But be like, are you her doctor? I'm like, do you guys need like a doctor for everything to make your own decision? They do. And so like for the people who are like, he is an MD, so just go read it.
Are you a person?
I'm a person.
Are you a person that breathes? Yeah. Then you probably have a worm in your booty. Oh. If you have a pulse, you have a parasite. Yeah. So, and it's not because you're dirty and it's not because you're gross, and you can wash your hands 75 times a day.
Even if you haven't been to a third world country,
you're going to get worms. Yep. So everybody go to Rogershood.com and use the code UTSP10. You'll get 10% off of this kit. It's a beautifully packaged kit. It has everything you need for a 30-day cleanse to get those worms out of you.
Anyways, improves detoxification. It acts as a form of dialysis. Did you know this?
No.
That... so I'm just going to read it because like I'm going to butcher the description, but a coffee enema detox can help remove unwanted materials from the gut wall and bloodstream. Dialysis is considered a forced or artificial method to enhance detoxification, and that's what the coffee enema does. The coffee enemas do, since they help the body expel waste materials. It keeps going on. Like it's the same kind of concept I was talking about, like the astringent, the acidity kind of cleans out the colon. Yeah. Which I think is awesome. Like we should just do it. But it also relieves constipation. And I know you didn't have that experience, but I have thoughts of maybe what went wrong.
Well, I also think it was just my body. Like the first place I hold my stress is my stomach, and I know that. And I tried to relax. I tried to just be, which is why like you would get more stress leaving your home. I, in my home, think of like I can't just lay there. Well, I'm not stressed in my home like I'm unhappy to be there, but like my running to-do list is going. If I leave the house and I can't hear my kids running around,
do you want to come to my house and do a coffee enema?
Maybe. But being at home, like I'm not stressed being at home, but doing a coffee enema at home stresses me out. If I leave and go to the colonics place, there's spa music. I'm by myself.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that's good.
They're both great, but I know there are more benefits to coffee.
For me, I'm so cheap. And like I buy the bucket once, and I buy the coffee every couple of months. And you're drinking the coffee
anyway, so it's not like it's a waste.
Yeah, and I'm not drinking the same coffee. I'm drinking separate. Yes.
But you're buying organic coffee either way.
Yeah, and like it's just, for me, it's become such a tool for my toolbox. Like, I can't, like for me, that's my like, oh crap, I'm starting to get sick. Like I just want to make sure. Yeah. I'm like, usually like we're not. Hot take. I don't think we're supposed to get sick as much as we do.
Of course not.
And be it environment, food, what they're spraying in the ears, which we're going to have someone on to come talk about chemtrails, which I'm very excited about. But like if I do a little rinse out, like I don't end up getting sick. Now, do I know that I was going to get fully sick? No. But I feel like there's something to it that like the times I don't do it, I get fully sick. Yeah. And then the times I do it, I don't. So, let me just scan through this to see if there's anything I'm missing. Did you know, one of the most common prescriptions for adults is laxatives?
No. Yeah. Not surprised, but anytime. It's almost like a joke. Anytime I ever think about going to the doctor for like literally, how old am I? Probably 20 years of me going in and out of the doctor. Every single time. I don't know, just take some Metamucil, which I am highly allergic to. Like if I take Metamucil.
What is Metamucil?
Is it
question. Like Miralax?
It's like Miralax, yeah. It's like a powder. I know there is a magnesium in it, but anytime I've ever taken Metamucil, my skin, like I can't even, I can feel the feeling still in my cells. I itch so badly that I just cannot stop scratching. Like I have some kind of weird, and I don't ever get a rash, but it literally makes my skin crawl and itch badly. So it's like a running joke. Anytime I've ever like been to a doctor, like, well, just try some Metamucil. And I'm like, I'm not here for your opinion. I'm just here for your blood work because I could not at the time ever order my own labs. So
yeah, but that's
like
the
labs.
That's why they're hitting so hard on like, like this is not medical information. Like you can't give advice, because that whole system is like thankfully breaking down. I mean, there's a lot of people still in that cog, but like how many times, a lot of that comment section, I was like, how many times are you giving your symptoms to this doctor and they say, I don't know, here's some birth control. Yeah. Good luck. Or like they see you for 10 minutes and they're like, I don't know, it seems like anxiety. Yeah. Do you want some anxiety? Like, and it's like, no.
Maybe you should lower your stress. And I'm like, I know that.
Everybody knows that. We do not need recommendations. Yeah. Yeah. So it's, if you have any of those issues, it helps. Like it's good. I also post the articles that I got all the information from. But for anything, it's really great for cleansing the liver. And that's like the main conductor of your detoxification is your liver. And so, get them heavy metals out, get the candida out. And it's a great
devil's advocate, or whatever the term is. There was somebody that just posted. Now, I know, obviously, everything in moderation. Somebody we both follow just posted. I can't think of who it was, but it's someone who actively pushes coffee enemas. Okay. Said there are times when not to do it. Did you see that post?
Oh, I probably should have mentioned something. Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know. Just,
is it Bombshell? Blonde
maybe
Bombshell?
It was her, yeah. I can't think. Yeah,
like if
biohacking.
If you're biohacking, it's Bombshell.
Like but that's a hard one to know. If you do the coffee enema, are all of these things going to settle back down, or is it going to tip you over the edge?
Here's
you
what
kind of just have to try it and experiment.
we all have our own discernment. Also, like if you're pregnant,
yeah.
don't do a coffee enema.
Yeah.
Don't do any detoxes when you're pregnant. Like there's no reason.
Did you do it when you were nursing?
I did.
Yeah.
I did do it when I was nursing. But I took a binder with it. I would take a binder. And I watched Leo. I didn't notice any difference.
Yeah.
And honestly, like a lot of the Bioray stuff have like, it says like removes whatever toxins and binds or something.
Yeah.
So I would always just give her that one if I had a coffee enema. So I was like, oh, I'll just bind it if anything does go through. Should I look at her biohacking bombshell? There are times.
It's like, what is it? There's like certain times where doing keto is great.
Oh yeah.
Certain times when going keto is not. And everything is, again, we're all different individuals. Even siblings are different genetic beings. You have to still figure out what works for you. I want to say go with your gut, but like we've been working on following our gut intuition for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm really comfortable going with my gut, where it takes some time to like get your body used to
trust yourself.
Itself. Yeah.
Here's the thing that we've been taught to not trust ourselves and go get a doctor's opinion. And like allegedly, where's our button? We got to get that back.
It's lost, I think, in my basement.
Let's find that because, we've been taught to not trust our own discernment or not take, mom or grandma's advice because of, an onion poultice did wonders for an earache. Like, and by the way, 10 out of 10 recommend. Have you ever done it?
No.
Like I had an ear infection, which I thought was a tooth infection, but I did an onion poultice. I fell asleep for like 2 hours and it was like, I woke up feeling fantastic.
That's awesome.
Highly recommend. But like, we've lost that
0
generational.
out of 10 recommend putting vinegar on potatoes on your forehead if you have a migraine. Does not work. Smells bad. Makes you puke your guts up. So,
I've never heard that one.
Yeah. Apparently, it's an old Hispanic something.
Okay.
And my mom did it once when I had a migraine. She's like, just trust me. It's a like old Hispanic remedy. I was like, okay, if you say so. I'm desperate. And it was the worst. Didn't work. Smelled awful. And when you have that bad of a migraine, smells are very much. Oh, it was awful. So
I kind of forget that you get migraines. I should kind of keep an eye out on.
Only if I get glutened.
Okay.
But I don't have celiac. According to the doctors.
I think you have a glyphosate buildup.
Probably. I probably have lots of buildups. Even though I've done, it's so annoying though. Even though I've done everything.
But here's
cellular
the thing.
detox. And I know it's like all these years, but all that to say, there's always improvement.
I know. And also, I maybe want to do an episode on this where it's, I don't know what it's called, but like you can't win.
Yeah.
And it's not like a, it's not negative of like, but it's, you have to live and enjoy living.
Yes.
Like you can't be so obsessed with being toxin free. Like do the best you can for sure. And what you can control, do, but like also your well-being and stress can sometimes negate, like you said, like the actual healing you can do.
Yeah.
So if you just eat off a damn paper plate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
don't worry about my migraines. They literally only come about if I eat gluten or get contaminated.
And
I can tell it's the same spot in the back of my head. It's like a weird, and I shouldn't say nobody believes. Nobody that's like outside of our weird realm believes me. But if I'm eating like fries and they were fried in the fryer and like they didn't tell me they were fried with like the loose floured things, within like 5 minutes I'll get the same pain in the same exact spot in the back of my head since I was like a child. And I knew if I don't take something quickly, that's gonna like grow over my head and then down to my eyes, and then boom, I'm out for 24 hours. So, but it's now like an early warning signal. It'll hit and then I'll stop eating, and then usually it's enough to just get a mild headache. But anytime I've ever ignored that little like tiny pain in the back of my head, it's been a full-on migraine every time. It's so it sounds weird, but
I believe you. Yeah.
I don't know. Every time. And I just had a client I was talking to the other day who said she's had unexplained migraines. She just went gluten-free. And then she mentioned starting in the back of the head. I was like a little pain in this left side kind of on the back. She goes, yeah. I was like, okay. She's the only other person who's ever
that's amazing.
Referenced that one spot. And then I was like, kind of grows over. She goes, yeah. And then I'm out. I was like, okay.
I wonder if it's a lymph. Crazy. Is it a lymph node that's blocked?
I don't know. I know in high school I used to joke about it before I knew anything. This is when I was like an athlete eating whole wheat turkey sandwiches and not Wheaties because they were gross. Probably some sugared cereal, but like I ate like the teenage athlete's diet.
Yeah.
And I would always joke, like after lunch, I'd be like, guys, my brain tumor is acting up. And they would get mad. They're like, stop joking about that. And I kind of was joking about it because it was in the same spot for years. And I thought, I need to joke about it. So if they tell me you have a brain tumor, I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
So I would always like, oh, my brain tumor is acting up. But
yeah,
it's so weird. Same spot. Don't know if it's a lymph. Don't know.
You want to know my weird theory that I have nothing to back up?
Yes.
Is that anytime I feel like I'm starting to get like anything sinusy, like a cold or whatever. This is so gross. You guys.
They've been here this long.
I
they
know.
can handle it.
But like, you know how you get like a loogie?
Yeah.
And I swear I get a loogie and if I don't spit out this particular loogie, I get sick. And it always looks the same. It kind of looks like a worm.
Okay.
Like it's all like
stringy kind of.
It's stringy. It's green and mucusy. Yeah. And it just has like it seems like a little tail. Like it has like a bulb and then like a little tail. If I don't spit it out, then I 100% will get sick. But if I spit it out, usually I can evade the illness.
Next time
I will. I'll take a picture. I've never taken a picture of it, which is weird for characteristic for me. Yeah. My poor FBI agent that's watching me, my camera roll, he's like, oh God,
you are being very heavily watched.
I'm on an FBI watch list, actually. Proud of that.
That's why my Instagram is all crochet things. Just talk about it in person. And
I want my nephews and nieces and my daughter to have a good world. And if I can teach someone that the government doesn't care about them, I'm going to. But yeah, so that's it. And I think in my mind, I'm like, it's whatever it is. It's the bacteria, whatever.
Like the virus.
It's whatever it is. Like my body put it in a biofilm.
Yeah.
And is trying to get me to spit it out.
Yeah.
And instead of like, which is so gross, for years I just swallowed it. And and then one day I just recognized a pattern. I was like, why is that whenever I get sick, this same thing? So I just spit it out and then I don't get sick.
Yeah. Huh.
And that's my theory, is that my body makes a biofilm.
Yeah.
It's like from my sphenoid sinus.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
That's my only theory. But that's Coffee Enemas, guys.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to Ancient Health podcast, I was going to say Ancient Nutrition, but that's his brand.
Yeah.
The Ancient Health podcast about it. They also have a great episode where she describes in detail how to do it. You can look that up yourself. I don't feel like describing that to you. I feel like I shared a little bit, but no need to go into extreme detail. But
To question,
sure.
Because when you do colonics, there's a point about 35 minutes in. I think it's when it hits the liver.
Okay.
That you get super nauseous, which is like a thing. Like the practitioner usually explains it like, okay, if you get a little nauseous, there's a little bowl of like ginger hard candies there for you. And mine's like about 40 minutes in, I'll feel it. And I'll just grab a ginger candy. And then just massage my stomach. And she has these little like, little back massager with the fork thing. She has one on the table there, so you can like massage your belly with it. And it's when it hits the liver. So just curious if the coffee enema, does it ever get to a point where like your liver's dumping and it makes you a little queasy?
I have not reached that point. No.
Interesting.
And I got to
because I wonder if it would like bypass it because you're pulling it out with more than just water, or if it would still be a thing because your liver's still getting.
Well, I think what the benefit of coffee is it stimulates the bile duct, and I don't think water does that. Yeah, it just kind of like rinses around it, and like increases your hydration. Like it's if you're really dehydrated, that's a great way to get hydrated. But I just don't think it. Yeah, I think it's the stimulating the bile duct that like makes you probably not get nauseous. That's my assumption.
Okay, interesting.
Is that because I've never got nauseous, and I've also done a double. Yeah, like. Which is so weird that your colon can hold that much. Yeah. But like one time I was really sick with the parasite cleanse prior to Leo. Yeah. And I was like, I'm just going to try to get like a full rinse. And so I did one, and then I had one in a jar standby, and then like filled it up and then did it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like put 2 in there. Yeah. And then like that was when like I passed like a whole bunch of gnarly looking green.
The mold, what you think was mold?
That was a couple days. That was later.
Okay.
But like I passed a bunch of green like stones.
Okay.
It's just so weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
I will say when I did a colonic, because they'll recommend doing a package of like 3. So do like only liquids for a couple days and then come in and do it again so everything can have time to shift down. That week that I tried the coffee enema, I did it, and then a couple days later I did it again because I was doing the parasite cleanse. And that second time I didn't get nauseous at all. So I don't know what it I mean, you're on the table for the same amount of time. But for whatever reason, doing it back to back, I didn't get nauseous. You
know what we should do is we should send the guys on another trip. That way you're forced to take off work and you have to be home. Okay? And
they're already planning one. Did they not tell you?
No. I'm happy for them. Yes. But like they go on a trip, you stay home.
Yeah.
I feel like all they hear me do is bully you about letting me let me watch your kids and shove tubes up your butt.
Yeah, but I'm the working mom, so it's like the few days a week that I'm not working. Yeah. It's hard for me to then like leave the kids again.
Right, but if you were home for a week, like the guys went out of town.
That's true.
The guys don't have to go to town, but like what if like every day, even if you did like you did a package of 3 colonics where you went 3 times a week, and then every other day that you didn't do a colonic, you did a coffee enema. I wonder what kind of reset that would do for your colon microbiome. Because you have a microbiome from, what did they say, from your snout to your anus, right? Is that?
Oh, it rhymes, doesn't it? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I can't think of what it is.
It's a microbiome everywhere. Anyways, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's coffee enemas. Please still follow us. Also, reminder, we post on Wednesdays because I woke up in a panic this morning. No. I was like, I didn't because we were processing birds all day yesterday, and I woke up in like you know that like you overslept for an appointment and that panic. I woke up and freaked out, and then I looked at our Instagram, and some gal was like, "Oh, thanks for posting this," because I definitely thought I was like, "Why haven't they uploaded yet?" Oh. Thanks for caring.
But yeah, we're excited about Wednesdays because now Aileeah can process birds and hopefully not wake up panicked on a Monday.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for being with us today. Follow us on Instagram at @underthesun_podcast. We'd love to meet you.
Please help us out by subscribing on YouTube and leaving a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time. Please remember this information is made available to you for informational and educational purposes only. It is in no way a substitute for medical advice.